Hey everyone, I'm Steve from Dr. Brahms Life Coaching, and today's topic is I'm in a stuck state and I want to know what is the underlying source. Now, I'm not, again, tell you ahead of time, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a shrink, I'm a life coach that specializes in neuro-linguistic programming. And a lot of times in the work that I do with my clients, it'll inevitably lead us to parts work. I also do hypnosis, and this parts work is kind of integrated in the modality that I use. But the question comes about, you're in this stuck state where there's a part of you that wants to do something, but then there's another part that kind of pulls you down, procrastinates. For example, for me in dieting, there was a part of me that wants to be healthy, wants to be fit, but then there's another part of me that just wants to be able to not be restricted, have do whatever the hell I want. And you could see how that would get you into a stuck state. So today's video I want to give you a little big picture view of exactly what parts work is. And what is exactly parts? Well, parts are pieces of you that makes up your whole self. And let me break it down even further. So the way this generally works, the way how these parts ends up being created is, if you just look at basic psychology, when you were born about 0 to 6, 7 years old, you base your identity of who you are by the people that are closest to you that's taking care of you, which typically in a healthy realm is your parents. From there is where you end up developing your values, your beliefs, your morality, because you're looking up to your parents and learning this stuff and learning stuff about yourself, who you are as a person. About 8 to 15 years old, again, these are not exact ages. Again, I'm not a therapist, but I'm just kind of giving you my understanding on this, is that around this age time frame is where you start connecting the dots. You start telling yourself, well, let's say you come from a messed up childhood where you feel as though you're not worthy, you're not lovable. Well, by 8 to 15 years old, your interaction with kids at school, with maybe family members, maybe your own parents, you feel as though you're not worthy, you're not lovable, and you're starting to see the way people respond to you, interact with you. Little events may happen where maybe a teacher ignored you or kids laughed at you at school. Well, it would validate this feeling that maybe I am not worthy, that maybe I'm not lovable. And as an adult, what ends up happening is that it skews your mindset on the way you see things. It'll cause you to get triggered. Whenever there's events that seem similar to that childhood events, it'll cause you to automatically feel and respond and act a certain way. And your reality may seem real to you, where everyone else around you are like, what the hell's wrong with this person? So I took some notes here, and what I found with doing this work is that typically there's like 3 different parts that pops up. The first one is the exile, which is the inner child. This is the part of you of who you really are, but is a part that may feel as though you have shame towards, a part of you that you may not like, and it's something that you kind of push down. And it's that part of you that when you get triggered, it's the one that makes you feel maybe sad or anxious, a lot of these negative types of feeling. The second is the firefighter. So basic psychology, we tend to run away from pain and go towards pleasure. Well, if there's an event that makes us uncomfortable, we'll want to run away. But if it's make us comfortable or uncomfortable, if we feel comfortable, we'll want to go towards it. So the firefighter is like an insult, a trigger happened, and you're like, oh, hell no, I never want to feel this way again. Let's use the analogy of feeling shamed, that you're not worthy. There's an event that happens that makes you feel like you're not worthy. Well, that firefighter part of you will pop up and be like, oh, hell no, I never want to feel this feeling ever again. And it'll have like a very rapid, violent response. So the way this would manifest, let's say that you're at work and some coworkers are making you feel like you're not worthy. Well, you'll find yourself getting very angry. You'll end up shouting at the people. You may be cursing them out, because it's a self-defense mechanism where you're trying to defend yourself from not feeling this way. But it happens so quickly and happens so subconsciously that you don't even realize what's happening. The third part is the manager. This person is the one that wants to keep the person going. They put the exiles to the side, and they're kind of like the controller. They want to control the situation. So they tend to compartmentalize, different situations into different parts. But sometimes if this manager is unhealthy, you can end up being like too controlling, wanting to control certain situations, which ends up causing anxiety because you can't control everything. And if you want to do further work on this, if you type in parts work and internal family system, it's the most common modality that they use. It'll help you give you a better explanation of what this parts work exactly is. But I wanted to end this with an awesome visual. If you've ever seen the movie Split, I absolutely love that movie. But the basic gist is about the antagonist in this movie has split personalities, and I think it's like 23 personalities that this actor had. Awesome movie, highly recommend it to watch it. But it's such a great representation of parts work because each of those parts of that character had a specific function. There was one that was a motherly like figure. There was one that was an aggressive, violent figure that was to protect the person. Another one was the true child, the childlike personality that was exposed in the movie, which was kind of there was the playful part. Then there was the real part where the other parts kept on pushing it down, and that was the one that had a lot of trauma. Now, parts work doesn't necessarily mean you have multiple personality disorders, but that movie was such a great representation because to take this home, how does this all can help you? By understanding what is the positive intention or the function of that part, what is the role of that part, if you understand that, you can reframe it in a way that you can start responding and reacting in a healthy way rather than an unhealthy way. If this is something that resonates with you, do you ever feel like sometimes, you might be going crazy, or you find yourself that certain themes tends to trigger you and you just have no control over it? I'll be more than happy to help you. You can always contact me at drbrahmslifecoaching@gmail.com. I do have some slots available to see clients, but I hope this video adds value. Love you guys. Bye.